And welcome to Around the Ozarks Spotlight. Each week we uncover the stories behind the people who live and work here in Southwest Missouri, the individuals with entrepreneurial spirit who work to better the lives of others or put pen to paper to write books about the stories and history of the Ozarks and its people. I'm your host, Scott Meier, and today we're going to explore the world of arena football. I know a little bit about that, but we'll find out more. But arena football here in Springfield with new owner, only owner, the owner, Mark Burgess. And Mark is the owner of the Ozarks Lunkers, which was just announced. So, Mark, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
And as we like to do before we get into the meat of the whole discussion here, let's find out who Mark Burgess is. So you're in the airlines business.
Yeah, we're basically been a pilot all my life, and currently my principal gig is Ozarks Charter Service and Burgess Aircraft Management. So we have a on-demand charter company here in Springfield, one of the larger ones in the state of Missouri. And so we're basically an air carrier, but we're an on-demand air carrier for a private charter, smaller aircraft, 9-passenger jets, and that's what I principally have done most of my life.
So you're staying in the air. You're not looking at the Titanic in the deep sea or anything
No,
like
no, I
that.
think that's probably a bad move. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think going down that deep is always a risky business, and so yeah, it's
yeah. I think
hopefully that's a bad
there's
situation.
there's more to the air than we know
Yeah,
about the
yeah,
sea, right?
exactly.
So,
Yeah.
are you born and raised Springfield?
Marionville, Missouri. So I've lived in Southwest Missouri all my life. Lived in Marionville until I was about 19 or so, and lived in Springfield my entire life, for except for about a 6 month stint that I was in Arkansas. But basically, I've been born, raised, and in the Ozarks for my entire life.
Okay, so 6 months in Arkansas, just for Arkansas friends. Any reason it was only 6 months?
Yeah, well, it's one of those job situations. I was working for a company here in town, and it was actually a charter company. Situation was getting a little dicey, in my opinion. I felt like it was not a safe operation, and
Sure.
so I chose to leave, and I left at a very exact moment right before something did bad happen with that company, and was basically working out of state for that period of time until another charter operator started back up here in Springfield.
So help me understand the conversation. Are you married? Do you have a family?
Yeah, I'm married. My wife Debbie, she's a retired labor and delivery nurse here in Springfield,
Okay.
and then I've got a daughter. She's got a daughter, and then we've between us both, we've got about 3 grandkids.
All right. So at some point, you and your wife Debbie were sitting at the dinner table, and you said, "Honey, I want to own a professional football team." And I'm
Yeah,
sure she reached across and grabbed your cheeks and said, "Boy, that's a great idea, dear."
yeah. It didn't quite go down just exactly like that, but yeah, I kind of pursued it. Told her kind of what I was thinking about. She's kind of learned that it doesn't do any good to talk me out of things. So as long as it's working and I'm happy with it, and we're not going on government assistance to continue to survive, and I can at least make a little bit of living with it, I think she's going to be okay with it for a while here.
My guest today at Around the Ozarks Spotlight is Mark Burgess. Mark is the owner of our newest addition in the sports world here in Springfield, Southwest Missouri, is arena football. And recently, a couple of weeks ago, you came out and said the name of the team is the Lunkers.
We did, yeah. We advertised, did a press conference, released out the Lunkers. Part of the naming is league driven, and the aspect that we have a lot of. They want to have fun with it. They want to have enjoyment with it, entertainment with it. So
Mm-hmm.
the name had to be kind of catchy and kind of also good spirited, I guess I should say. So
Sure.
I was driving for more like the Bucks or the something. Uh, a little bit more aggressive, but they wanted something a
Yeah.
little bit more fun, and so we ended up with that. So
Well, I'm assuming you've been up to Bennett Springs once or twice, and if you have, they've got the ponds there where they're raising all the trout, and one of the ponds they call the Lunker Pond. So obviously,
really, okay,
anybody that knows fishing in this area certainly knows what a lunker is.
yeah. We started entertaining different names and ideas and things, and that's the one that was obviously not going to make everybody happy every time, but it was one that fit. We thought with the Ozarks, this is an Ozarks team. It's not just a Springfield team. It's kind of
Hmm.
regional in nature, and I like the Lunkers because it's basically the definition is a large specimen. So for football, that seems to work pretty good. We have some large specimens of human beings that'll be battling on the field. So
You know what's going to be interesting is I've been to a couple of arena football games in the past, and when you put 300 pounds of human in a smaller area, big things can happen in a hurry.
yeah, that's the goal of the Arena League. It's professional football, but it's on a lot smaller field, and it's almost like a hockey rink. You're right up close and personal to it. You can see it better, you can feel it better, you can hear it better, and then the structure of the game is just way more exciting. There's a lot more scoring. There's not. I don't think we're going to have any kicking at all in this league. The way it's shaping up, everything will be ground running stuff, and it's a 7-on-7 game, faster pace, no huddles, so a lot more action, a lot quicker action, and then we're going to have a lot of things going on besides the football game.
Now, as an owner, there's going to be how many of you? How many owners are there now in the league?
At this point, there's going to be four. There's four teams slated for the first season.
Okay.
Duluth, Minnesota, Waterloo, Iowa, Kansas City, Missouri, and here. They're already on target to have some additional teams the next season. Hopefully up to 6, and then the goal is to get up to anywhere from 10 to 12 at some point. So we've got a full roster of games to play for the season. We'll play 8 games the first season, but we'll have to play teams twice in order to make that accomplishment. But the goal is to get to a point where we've got a large league of players.
Now, who approached who? Did you approach them? They approached you?
I approached them. It came up on a news announcement, a couple months ago, I think, a little bit longer, that the Arena League was coming to town. I was intrigued by it. I reached out and tried to find out who was buying it, who was the owners. At that point, I assumed somebody already owned the team to see if I could get involved, if there was some way to be a part owner with them, or really where the whole thing was. And the first contacts I made was with the original Arena League that was around years and years ago. They are claiming to be coming back into existence, but haven't really got there yet. The more digging I got into it and found out and talked to some local people, I figured out that this was a new group with owners that wanted to make this a little bit better, make it more regional, and gentlemen that had experience in this and had owned some professional Arena League teams before. So that's kind of how it started. I started doing my due diligence, checked them out, went and met with them, basically not to be, difficult, but I did background checks to make sure everybody was legitimate, make sure this was a good deal. And once we did, we found out it was all good. We also found out that Tim Brown is our league commissioner. He's got a great history. He's a Heisman Trophy winner, one of the few that makes it to the Hall of Fame. He's got a very good pedigree. We're excited to have him as our league commissioner. And then once we determined it was all legitimate and we felt like it was a reasonable business opportunity, and it was also something to bring something to the Ozarks we don't have, which is professional football.
Right.
And try to do it right this time and make it work and try to keep it around long term. But we need everybody's support to do that. We need people to come to games, buy tickets, support the team. We're going to make it a fun experience for everybody.
Let's talk about the arena for a minute. So you found a place to play, and I'm not sure people – I know when I first heard about the league coming and that there was an opportunity in Springfield, I immediately thought they probably would play, at the sports arena and the Southern Bank Arena, and I find out that you're going to be up at the fairgrounds.
Yeah, the lease was negotiated before we came on board. That was their biggest thing to try to find hosting cities when they were out searching, was finding a proper venue, and it worked out almost perfect because it was our Fairgrounds was demolishing their old arena that's been there forever. They're building a brand new one, state-of-the-art, nice new facility that's going to be a multi-purpose arena. The Fairgrounds is making strides to have a lot more activities over there. We feel like it's a natural fit for us. And so we entered into an lease agreement with them that's a multi-year agreement. And they were very gracious to allow us to get in there and get this thing going. And we think it's going to be great. It's going to be in the summertime, so it's going to be indoor venues, air conditioned. So it's not going to be like you're playing outside in the summer heat.
Or in Duluth, Minnesota in the winter.
Exactly. Yeah, even in Duluth, Minnesota in June, July, and August, when we're going to be playing, it still may not be that much deal. So we're looking forward to the indoor aspect of it.
I was surprised at Duluth only because I was born about 60 miles from there, and about all they have in Duluth is freezing water and hills.
Yeah, exactly.
And now they're going to have football.
So yeah, they're going to have football. So yeah.
Have they got team names for the other cities that have been announced yet?
I've seen some prospective names and stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know that they're locked in yet,
Okay.
so I don't really can't reveal those because I'm not sure if the owners and the league are 100% in sync with what they want to do. I know what they're thinking, but I think those will get announced. I'm pretty sure it's all going to start getting announced over the next few weeks or a couple months that they get the rest of the teams lined up.
You're hearing and seeing my guest today, Mark Burgess. Mark, the owner, the new owner, the only owner, the first owner of the Ozarks Lunkers, which is the area's first arena football team and hopefully only football team, arena football team for years to come. Uh, this is a new endeavor. I would guess you had to pony up some cash to be part of this thing. And I would assume that all the owners are pooling money, I would guess, right, for operations for the four teams. Is that fair, or is it up to each of you to provide certain things and you just make it happen?
Yeah, it's kind of a joint structure thing. We do have league dues that we have to pay into to help support the league and that aspect. But each owner in each area is going to be responsible for basically getting their own team together, fielding it. It's not like a co-op type situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a standalone situation, which we have to build up our own team and arrange all the other things we need to do it. But the league is there to support us and help us get it going, and then to work out all the schedules and things like that.
Now, are you looking to be a Jerry Jones type owner, where you're going to be actively involved with what's going on in the field? Are you going to coach the team, or are you going to be the guy in the box that says, you know what, I got people for that?
Yeah, no, I'm not a coach type person. We're already talking to coach. We've already got a lot of people asking about being the coach. We got a lot of people asking about being players. We're telling them it's a little bit early for that because we're a year away from playing our first game.
Mm-hmm.
No, I have no desire to coach it. I like building things. I like building things that work. I like building things to support the Ozarks. I like building things that helps our community. And
Sure.
I think this is a good thing. The main reason that we looked at this is because, I like football. I enjoy the Chiefs games and things, but it's expensive. And
Mm-hmm.
the economy the way it is right now, it's hard for the average family to be able to afford to if you can get a ticket to the Chiefs game, first of all, if you're lucky, and the second of all, it's very, very expensive
Yeah.
and it's crowded and it's it can be not family friendly sometimes, and you're not close to the action. So it's a great experience, and I love going to a Chiefs game, but
Mm-hmm.
the average person can't really afford that. So we're trying to get something together here that we believe will be a really great family event. We're going to make a lot of other activities besides football. We call it basically a entertainment event that's wrapped around a football game.
Oh,
So
that's great.
so no matter who shows up, they're going to like, wow, that was really cool. And the goal of this whole thing is that at the end of the day, you didn't spend your entire paycheck to entertain your family for the night.
Mm-hmm.
If we get done with this thing, they're like, wow, did you see this? Did you see that? They gave this away. And did you see this going on? Oh, by the way, did we win the game? Yeah, we won too. That's even better. So the goal is to have it as a really, really big entertainment event. We've got a lot of really cool things lined up
Sure.
because not everybody's a football fan. So you take mom and dad and the kids. Maybe the boys want to see the football game and the girls really not interested. So there'll be stuff there going on for everybody, so they can all have an enjoyable time.
Well, now that brings up another question. So, as you have the entertainment on the field, are you also looking for cheerleaders?
We are going to field cheerleaders. The league has ideas on how to do that with local dance academies and dance clubs
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. So yeah, we are going to field cheerleaders for sure. We have to work with the getting officiating staff and all that sort of thing. That kind of becomes a cross line with the league on what they're providing and what we're providing as far as officiating staff and things. So yeah, we'll definitely have cheerleaders. We're working on our mascot now. That's the next thing we're trying to get done. We're working on the
Mm-hmm.
team uniform design. That'll be the next thing we get done. So that's the things we're trying to get done here well in advance. So we're ready to go once we get past the first of the year and we start looking at getting players on the field.
So obviously it's an exciting time. We're about ready to get the break here. I just wonder how many coaches have given you a call so far.
We've gotten 5 or 6 different coaches that reached out about interesting in doing it. So we've got a good slate already, and it's still pretty early. So we're excited about that.
So there is a chance for Dick Vermeil.
There is. If Dick shows up, we're going to go work something out. Yeah.
That's excellent. We'll be back in a moment with more on Around the Ozarks Spotlight. I'm your host, Scott Meier. Back here in a moment with Mark Burgess. Stick with us. Welcome back to the second half of today's Around the Ozarks Spotlight. I'm your host, Scott Meier. With me is Mark Burgess, the owner and operator of our newest adventure here in the Ozarks, arena football. and it's a team that's called the Lunkers, and they've got, I think, a pretty cool logo. Obviously, that's going to be a big part of what you do. Can people buy hats or shirts or anything yet?
Absolutely. Yeah. We've already got all that lined up and going. If you go out to the website, ozarkslunkers.com, that's plural on both those. So it's ozarkslunkers.com.
Mm-hmm.
There's a link out there to do several things. One is if you're a corporation or a business here in town, you want to be involved. If you're a charity that wants to be involved, there's links to get to that. We don't have the actual tickets sold yet, but we do have opportunities. You can put deposits down on season tickets. It's a very small amount of money to hold your season tickets. We've actually already got, I think I ran the numbers today. We've already got about, I think 400 some odd seats.
Really?
Spoken for. Yeah. Already spoken for. People are reaching out. So we're hoping it's going to be, we felt like it's pretty good for just a team just announced. We've already got, I think, 7 field boxes already spoken for. We've got another 200 and some odd seats in the stands spoken for. And then there's a merchandise link out there that goes through Shopify and goes to a company that we use to print stuff. So I think right now we have T-shirts, we have hats, we have different size for kids and adult T-shirts. We have some hoodies. That's about as far as we've taken it so far as we continue to develop the merchandise out. But there are things out there you can buy that's got the logo on it.
Well, what fun. I mean, I've had a chance in my career to be very close to everybody from the Detroit Lions to the Giants and the Packers. One of the things is to bring in the young people and, the dads and moms and give them experiences that they typically can't get in anything else, especially when you're a sponsor. I would assume that you're making those things available for your sponsors as well. They'll get to meet some of the players, maybe see up close in person what they do to get ready for a game and just have that whole fan experience.
Absolutely. Yeah. Part of the deal with our league is after the game's over with, the players and the cheerleaders are required to stay on the field, and you're able to come down on the field with the players and cheerleaders, talk to them, get autographs, get pictures, that sort of thing. Besides all the interactive stuff we're going to have going on the other side from a team standpoint.
Sure.
Yeah, that's definitely for sure. And if you're on one of the field boxes, I mean, you're literally on the field. You can reach out and touch the players as they go by, and they're going to be slamming into the wall right beside your seat. So if you've never seen arena football, go out on some of the websites, YouTube and stuff, and watch it because it's high energy and it's up close and personal.
Now, I know you're, I think it was maybe your first news conference or one of your news conferences you actually did at Bass Pro. Is Johnny involved in your business at all?
He is not. He has through our contacts and stuff said he's very, very happy with the logo and the team name that we put out.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is probably not a project that's high on his list of priorities. So, but so far from what we've heard from our contacts, the people at Bass Pro, they were excited about it. They want to do some, merchandise type giveaways and connect up because of the fishing theme and everything. And
sure.
But according to my sources, Johnny was well pleased with the pick of the name.
Well, obviously the Lunkers work in. You could actually have a Ranger boat there, and
exactly. That's probably one of our first. Our goals for one of our first giveaways and is going to be a full bass boat and partner up with a charity in town. And if you're in the seat and you're in the stadium, you can buy a raffle ticket and you might go home with a very nice, fully rigged out bass boat.
Let's talk about the arena for a minute. Now, the arena dirt floor, or are they bringing in some sort of field grass or AstroTurf?
Yeah, it'll be like an AstroTurf. I'm not sure if that's the exact term we use anymore, but yeah, it'll be a portable field that we bring in, and the rails and stuff. Basically the box that they're going to be playing in all gets brought in. It's probably my biggest investment is to have that available, and then the fairgrounds is responsible for taking it down and reassembling it, before every game.
Sure.
We're only playing 4 home games, 5 if we end up playing in the championship or the playoff game. So it'll only happen 4 times here at home, and then we'll be playing 4 times on the road. So once we get into a bigger league and a bigger season, then obviously that's going to extend out.
How big is that arena? How many can it seat?
The numbers we're looking at, the arena can seat somewhere between 6,000 to 7,000 people. Mm-hmm. With us taking up the floor space for the field itself,
sure.
we're looking at about 4,000 seats total that we can actually have inside of there.
And I would think 4,000 would make the owner very happy.
Would make me very happy. I'd like to just fill that thing up and have a bunch of screaming people inside that stadium the first time. I've told the league president that my goal is that when they come down here, the other owners, him himself included, leave going like, wow, Springfield's behind this, huge crowd, big excitement, packed out stadium, best thing we've ever seen. And that's my goal.
I really think the area is prime for football. I mean, it's Missouri State has lately, the last few years, have put a much better product on the
Yeah.
field. But everybody talks about it being a great basketball and baseball town, obviously. But I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but we're heavily involved with the Chiefs at the radio stations, and they have told us on many occasions we're the number 2 city for season tickets.
Oh yeah, yeah. Springfield loves football. There's no doubt
Yeah,
about it. I mean, I got a lot of friends that are rabid Chiefs fans and got their houses decorated in Chiefs stuff and everything else. And I love the Chiefs as well, but they're Kansas City. They're not Springfield. So and the Ozarks. I think we just rally around a team like this, make it popular, make it exciting. And the fans, before they know it, will be down the road 2 or 3 years, and we'll be having a huge league. And it's worked in other markets. We can make it work
sure.
here.
Now, when you come together as the owners and try to start putting your teams together, how's that going to work? Is there a draft? Is there a pool that you can draw from of players, or are you looking at strictly players from this area? I mean, what does that look like?
I mean, a little of both. I think there's going to be some cooperation between the teams. There's really not going to be a draft as such.
Mm-hmm.
Our league is designed for young men that still think they got a chance and the playability to make the NFL. And
Yeah.
I mean, the most famous story of Arena League is obviously Kurt Warner. He came out
Yep.
of the Arena League team, and that's
Mm-hmm.
the flagship. But we had a lot of other guys go to the Canadian Football League out of Arena League teams. Now you got the USFL and the XFL. So there's opportunities for move up. These young guys need camera time. They need footage. They need game
Mm-hmm.
footage. And they can't get game footage other places. So and the unique thing about our deal is they get to play offense and defense both. They get to go both directions. So they get to show their capabilities and maybe some of their their versatility on the football field they can't show otherwise. So we give them another chance to get some footage out there and get some video out that might be seen by somebody that wants to pick them up and take them further.
I hate to let the cat out of the bag, but Kurt Warner night's probably going to be a big deal.
Yeah, I think we need to do that for sure. We were thinking we need to get him in here for a one night deal. We will have Tim Brown here for one of our games.
Yeah.
So he'll be here for autographs and pictures and to talk about his career. He definitely will come in and host or be one of our guests at one of our games. And then, we're going to reach out to Kurt and see if we can't get him excited about being up in this neck of the woods.
You're getting a chance to hear and see and join me in a conversation with the new owner of the Arena Football League, the Ozarks Lunkers here, Mark Burgess. And Mark, I got to tip my hat to you. It's not easy doing what you're doing. I'm sure you're finding that out as you go because there's a little bit of a learning curve here, I'm sure. But at some point in your life, you had this idea that you wanted to own a professional sports team.
I mean, there's a kind of combination of two things. I've always liked sports. I've always played sports. Obviously, I'm not a football-sized guy, so I've never played football. But that's my favorite sport as far as they go. And then I've always kind of had an interest in productions as far as being able to bring in entertainment stuff to the Springfield market. Looked into it several times, and it's complicated. And then you start to try to fill up a 180K Hammond's Hall. That's a lot of people. So this actually fit a really good niche for me. It's a smaller venue.
Mm-hmm.
It's an exciting product, and these guys have all got experience with it. So it's not like we're going to this totally green, is making it up as we go. And there's been some history. So we're taking the best and not stepping in the worst of things that's happened in the past in the Arena League. And so you're right. It's a learning curve, but it's also like anything we try to do a top notch and first class, and we try to make sure it's a top notch experience. And we've done that with several different businesses that I had in town.
Mm-hmm.
And the goal is to make it where you come in and you leave and you're impressed. And we want the value to be, or the ticket price to be here. We want the value to be up here. We want you to leave like I got my money's worth.
Absolutely. Now, when you talk about the players, are the players paid or are the players? Yeah. They are. So you're actually going to have payroll.
Yeah.
And how many coaches are you carrying?
At this point, there'll be one head coach. My assumption from what we understand is possibly one, maybe two assistant coaches because of the fact it's a smaller team. We only field 15 players and you're seven games, so you don't obviously need quite as many guys as you got going. Our initial hire will be a general manager, and then the secondary hire will probably be a marketing sales type person. The third hire would then be the coach. So at that point, right now it's me and my personal assistant is kind of running the day-to-day type stuff. We're far enough out that we can handle all that. But the next move is to get a general manager hired, find somebody hopefully locally here that has got interest in doing that. And that would be the general manager would be a full-time position, obviously year round.
Sure.
The coach would be a temporary, and obviously the players would be temporary just during the season.
Now, the game schedule you said would be 4 or 5 games, depending on if you get into the playoffs. What are the dates for the games? What months are you playing in? What time would the kickoff be?
At this point,
is there a kickoff? Maybe there isn't even a kickoff.
There is no kickoff. No,
Okay.
at this point in time, the games are June, July, and August. Our goal is to come into the football right prior to the NFL season. Mm-hmm. So our thought as a league is that as you come out of the NFL season, you're right into XFL and USFL, and it's exciting. And I enjoy both those formats, but we feel like that you're a little bit tired of football. Because start coming back into June, July, August, back to start preseason and camps for the NFL. That's a good time for us to jump in there with our game and give you a tune-up and get you excited to get into the NFL season. So June, July, August, looks like most of the games right now we're slating for will be probably Saturday evening, and that'll be the plan. And we've got a temporary schedule up. We haven't hard locked it yet, so I don't want to tell people these are the dates we got games. But that's something we think we'll have hammered down here in the next week or so.
You know, it's almost July 1st as we speak, and I think the show airs on the 2nd. 2024 is not that far away.
Not that far away. A year seems like a long ways away, but when you start trying to do something like this, it'll roll around quick. So we've got a pretty good size to-do list, and that's why we're trying to get us a GM hired right now so they can start taking care of that and then get us a sales guy out in the field so we can start getting the advertising taken care of.
Oh, absolutely. Now, have you got, speaking of that, have you got any support from either local cable, or are you going to stream some of the games, or are you looking at actually a broadcast partner?
We're looking at all that as opportunities to see what we can do. The initial reaction is probably going to be something that will be live streamed, either on a subscription or a pay-as-you-go type basis. That's the league's goal at this point in time.
Sure.
If we can figure out somebody locally that wants to carry the game and broadcast it, we'd love to entertain that idea, either radio, TV, or both. So at this point in time, we haven't connected with anybody on that, but that obviously would be the ultimate goal.
When are we going to see you on the next conversation, all dressed up in team logo wear?
As a fish or in a team logo? I'm not really sure yet. We've got designers working. I've got my idea what that's going to look like.
Yeah.
The mascot's in the process of being designed. We will probably I was hoping to have that in a couple of months. I'm finding by production and design standards that may not work. It may be more like 4 months before we get a mascot delivered. We hope to have a uniform reveal here in a couple of months, possibly along with the general manager reveal. Then maybe a couple months behind that, as we come into the holidays, get the mascot out, have a naming contest for the mascot, give whoever names the mascot a prize. And then shortly after that, we'll start probably looking at starting working on getting the coach and getting the team lined up. So that's kind of the timeline we're on right now.
Now, let's go back to the coach for just a minute. We've still got a few minutes left in the broadcast. Are you looking for an NFL type coach, or are you looking for somebody maybe in college, or maybe somebody that's on the sidelines because right now there's not enough jobs to go around?
I think we're just looking for the right guy to make the right fit. You got to have somebody that embraces this style of football because it is a little bit different style than used to playing. We've already talked to a couple of different coaches that have had some NFL experience, actually, that have been in the assistant roles in some areas like that. But again, this may be a deal where you got a vibrant young man that wants to get into coaching, and he's got a good resume and he can bring the excitement to the team. Or it may be a seasoned veteran that comes along. We just got to find the guy that fits right and wants to basically take the Lunkers to the championship. Well,
my wife and I enjoyed the last episode of Ted Lasso the other night. I think Ted Lasso might be available.
He might be available, yeah. I'm not sure I'm one of the coaches by team, but that's all right.
If you can't get Ted, maybe you can find somebody locally named Ted Lasso.
Yeah,
it'd be good for the first couple of games.
Yeah,
again, when people are looking now to buy things online, where can they go and how can they find them? Where are we going to send them to?
OzarksLunkers.com. Again, both those are plural, OzarksLunkers.com. We got a Facebook presence right now under Springfield Arena League. We're going to put up a couple other Facebook presence underneath their name, but there's merchandise out there. You can put deposits on season tickets, and we are putting a lot of deposits down on season tickets. It's not very much money to do it, so we encourage people to go out there and get your name in the hat. We want to fill this arena up.
Mark, congratulations on becoming a professional football team owner.
There you go.
And I can't wait for the first game. I'll be in the seats.
I appreciate that. Appreciate
really
it.
Looking forward. I'm a huge football guy, and I really look forward to it. So
great. I'm looking forward to it.
I want to thank my guest today, Mark Burgess, on Around the Ozarks Spotlight. Also, my producers, Taylor Worley and Jay Stevens, as well as all of you for joining us. If If you happen to miss all or part of today's program, you can find it in its entirety on the Midwest Family Springfield.com website, the AroundTheOzarks.com site, our new app at the Apple App Store and the Android App Store for ATO. You can find it almost everywhere, Spotify, and you can hear and view today's show as well and the earlier shows from last year and the year previous. I'm Scott Meier, your host, and remember, every day is a gift. Enjoy life. Thanks again, Mark.
Thank you, sir.